Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Put a Ring on It, Season 3, Episode 11. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. And if you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share this with a friend. Share it on Twitter. Share it on Instagram. Share it on the Facebook. Honey, just share it, okay? Now, y'all, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. When the episode first opens up, the couples are meeting with Dr. Nicole. So Shorty arrives by herself, honey, as she should. And then here comes the Sandman, and everybody notices that something is off. So the dramatic music is playing and whatnot. So Dr. Nicole says, well, Kenneth and Shorty, there's been some developments in their relationship. And she's like, would you like to share with the group? Honey, Shorty was like, yes, I would like to present to the class. Honey, I will stand up in front of the class and let them know me and him, we are done. Okay, he called me everything but a child of God, cussing me out, calling me out my name. I'm hurt. I'm disgusted. I'm done. So then he pipes up and starts speaking his speech. So they start arguing back and forth and back. And Dr. Nicole interjects and she says that she hopes that they take something from the experience and she's happy to meet with them separately. First of all, I do not like this threatening position that she is sitting in. Why is your arm around her chair? You are no longer together. She just announced to the group that you and her are done. And then you late because you probably just got dropped off by your Uber. Ain't no telling where you coming from. So please get your arm off this woman's chair. Her body language is saying, I'm a little bit stiff right now. I'm in a little bit of an awkward position. There's a little bit of tension. Please, let's move it along. Okay, and Dr. Nicole, you're saying that you want to meet with them separately. Honey, it's too late for all that. He has shown his whole ass from episode 1. Nobody ever addressed his behavior. Now you want to have a one-on-one? Me personally, he couldn't sit that close to me. Absolutely not, honey. After the way that you clowned and the way that you've been treating me throughout this entire ordeal, you couldn't sit next to me. The damage is already done, honey. It's a wrap. So he exits first, and honey, he just walking and walking and walking. We never did quite see him make it to a car, honey. the Uber's not outside yet. And then she leaves a while later, and that's after she demics, right? But when she does, she was like, can you make sure he's all the way gone first? Oh, okay. Yet some of y'all want to act like he's unproblematic. Well, she was talking crazy. Let me explain something to you. Any woman that says, hey, can you make sure that he's gone first before they exit the building is afraid of something. Moving forward. She said, you know, it's not the outcome that I wanted, but in the future, I want to work on myself to be the best that I can be. Well, y'all be all you can be in the Army. Now that they're gone, Dr. Nicole talked to Shay and Alfonso. So she bragging about his goofy style of dress, honey, and how the date was and how nice it was and whatnot, how he pulled out his extra large piece and chain just for her. Here go Dr. Nicole. You brought out the necklace? He asked Dr. Ponytail. He brought out the necklace. And so Shay was like, you know, we still have some things to work on, but we're going to try to get through them. So then she asked Alfonso about talking to his child's mother. And he's like, yeah, you know, I told her that she's still valuable to me. Okay, sir. It's been 3 years. You should have been spoken to that lady a long time ago, honey. Something ain't right. And y'all ain't fooling me. But if y'all want to continue to act like y'all fooling me, then go ahead, y'all, because it's the end of the road. So he said he's going to try to blend their family. And Shay is like, I feel like I can't hold him to how they feel because they may never like me. Okay, Shay, we see the new growth. Girl is giving scalp. I know that's right, child. You can't hold him to what his mama and them gonna do because they ain't gonna like you, child. Because, you know, I don't know exactly what's happening, but it's seeming like it was some overlapping being done. And Alfonso was in the middle lying and trying, and you crying, and his mama ain't buying nothing that you selling. Moving forward. So then we go on over to old Otis and Charlene, child. And Dr. Nicole asked if he went on a revenge date or did he want to get to know Sheree. He did not want to get to know that lady at all. He's like, oh, well, you know, I forget. Did she decide on her date first? You know she did. Y'all getting on my nerves, child. He's like, no, it didn't have anything to do with that. I'm sure it didn't. Boy, you're a bold-faced lie. So then Charlene started blabbing nonsense about how after 3 dates, Chris made her feel appreciated. She was like, I really appreciated how he appreciated me. Now listen, I know Otis was not paying attention and whatnot and not listening to what she was saying, but in my mind, I was thinking, girl, the only thing he appreciated was your body and your willingness to listen to his story times. Now, maybe that's just me. I did not see the appreciation coming through with Slowdale. I just didn't. Their conversations lacked substance. All he talked about was sex and threesomes, and he was going to continue for Storytime Part 2 every time he was promised another date. I didn't see it. You didn't even know him. When y'all did get together, he was focused on his sexcapades. Well, child, at least that's what I remember. Moving forward. So she was basically saying that the appreciation that she got from Chris, she would like that same appreciation from Otis. Now, I'm seeing that Charlena's love language is words of affirmation. I understand that because that's my love language as well. So she wants Otis to pour into her and say nice things. She was like, I just really want to hear that from him. So he gonna say, well, I mean, she hears them from everybody because she ain't cussing them out. Well, she's cussing you out because of the way that you behave. Well, let's not forget that. And he's like, after 3 dates, he made you feel appreciated. I mean, well, I was thinking the same thing, but that's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. So Dr. Nicole said, Mr. Otis, whenever Charlena says anything and it's anything that you're not doing, the way that you process it, it diminishes what she's saying. So then she starts to cry, and he says he wasn't diminishing what she was saying. Child, yes, you were. Okay, the lady just she just passed you the ball. And it was your job to go to the end zone or the end field goal or whatever they do in sports, child. She passed you the ball. She passed you the baton. It was your job to make it across the finish line. She's telling you, I want these things from you. I don't want these things from another man. I want them from my man. And you're not even listening to that. So she was like, you know what? I'm just tired of arguing. Child, he didn't even try to hug her or nothing. She was sitting there crying and he was still sitting there with his hands in his lap. I cannot stand Otis. I can't stand him, child. I don't care what's happening. So then Dr. Nicole explains to Otis, when she said she wanted it from him, instead of saying he can do it, he starts going around the mulberry bush, talking about what happened and why they saying it and why she's saying it. Because he doesn't care, Dr. Nicole. So then she asked Charlena, if it's like that now, how is it going to be forever? A fool. It's definitely going to be a fool if they don't learn how to communicate. He never wants to hear what she has to say. He's listening to respond, and honey, sometimes he don't respond at all. So then Dr. Nicole tells them that she has one more assignment, and that's to go to the jewelry store and shop for rings and envision what it's like to get married. I don't know what Alfonso looking all shocked about, honey. Haven't you done this before? I was like, oh, child, y'all gonna get scripted if y'all don't do nothing else. He was like, oh, I can't believe, we gotta go look for rings. Sir, you've done it before. It's gonna be fine. In the next scene, the men go to the jewelry store, and Alfonso is like, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous looking at rings because it's about to get real. And again, you've had an entire engagement party and you got married in Vegas, but it didn't go through. You're fine. So Otis said that it's a possibility that Charlena may say no. Child, she ain't gonna say no. That picture on Beyonce's internet says that she's madly in love with you, and she will say yes, despite your flaws. Moving forward. So the two of them start talking about all their nerves and whatnot, and Otis says that he regrets the way that he's been treating Charlena and the things that he said and the way that he said them. So in the next scene, Dr. Nicole meets with Shay one last time, and they're talking about where Shay is now. And she said, she just wants to make sure that she's being true to herself. So when she sees something, she doesn't feel like she's wavering. She said Alfonso is actually listening to her now, admitting that he doesn't have an answer for everything. So Dr. Nicole gonna say, well, that's a blessing. The reason why that was so funny to me is because it reminds me of my mom when I tell her something and she has no response, honey, and she don't want to get involved, honey. Her name is Bennett and she ain't in it. She'll be like, oh, okay, well, that's a blessing. Honey, sanctified and not paying no attention. So Shay said, she finally realized that she can't think for Alfonso. She has to let go of the past because she doesn't want to get hurt again. So Dr. Nicole asked her if she realizes that hurt is going to come. And that's the chance that you may take. And she said, yeah, but, I don't want to do that again. Well, I'm just going to say this to you, Shay. In dealing with Alfonso, he is bound to mess up again. And judging from what we see, he's definitely going to mess up again. So just give him space to make his own decisions, because that's going to be the true test of growth. You can't gauge it if you tell him everything to do and when to do it. Allow him to show you. And when he shows you, then you make your assessment. So Shay believes that they're getting some sort of resolution. Child, if y'all like it, I love it. Moving forward. In the next scene, Otis meets with Dr. Nicole next, and he said it's been tough, but even the bad is good, and it really brought them together. Okay, now let's keep it real. Okay, let's keep it honest. I have not seen any growth from either of you all season. You went on dates and didn't even engage. Met with Charlana and didn't even engage with her. You were waiting for a server to come and take your order. And Charlie went on dates just to take her mind off of things at home and the fact that she's not eating. So she goes on these dates so that she can have a meal because the salmon was not prepared for her, just for you. And don't think I forgot. So the two of you have not grown at all. What kind of growth are we talking? Child, please. So she asked him if he thought that they were in a good place. And he was like, yeah, I do. It's the delusions for me. Dr. Nicole is like, no, sir. That's not what she's saying. Listening to her and watching you, there's no awareness of how toxic the two of you are. So she said there are things between the two of you that are big issues. He said, yeah, well, we don't see it that way at all. She is trying to let you know that there are some fundamental issues between the two of you. Your foundation is cracked, bonehead. And here you are trying to control the narrative and speak for Charlana when clearly she was visibly upset last time the three of you were together. This isn't working. He ain't even listening to Dr. Nicole, child. She trying to tell him y'all ain't ready. He's like, well, thankfully it's not up to Dr. Nicole. Well, child, I wish we could have all taken a vote out here in TV land. Because it would have went a totally different way, I tell you that. So she's like, well, this isn't my opinion, okay? The mess that y'all do will keep you from having a long-term successful marriage. Now, she didn't say the mess that y'all do, but y'all know I like to zhuzh it up. But basically, it's going in one ear and out the other. Therefore, and thus and such, God let him set himself off, child. In the next scene, back at their house, they're talking about what it took for his parents to sustain a marriage. So Otis and Charlana, they're talking, and he said it took patience, but at the end of the day, it was love, and that's why he thinks they stand a chance, because he loves her. You don't think all of us got married for love? Love is not the only thing that makes a marriage last. You have to have more than that. If that's the case, we would all still be married. Boy, if you don't go. So he tells her, I didn't think I could love someone so much. I mean, I love you so much till it hurts. The thought of losing you is scary. Oh, child, please. She said, I'm very happy that he's finally telling me these things. I'm happy he's giving you the words of affirmation that you need. But let's just hope there's some action behind it, honey, because I ain't seen nothing all season. She's hopeful that they can get to a better place. Moving forward. In the next scene, Shay's dad comes by so Alfonso can ask his permission yet again. So her dad is like, are you sure you're ready this time? Alfonso said, yeah, I'm positive. Dad wants to make sure that he's for real this time. And he also wants Alfonso to know, listen, marriage is a verb. It's an action word. You need to make sure that you're really ready. So her dad is asking how they're going to make it work. And he said, talking to Dr. Nicole really helped the two of them. This was an 8-week process. What are you going to continue to do? Because after Dr. Nicole, you're going to need extra help. This is not all. So Alfonso said, he's going to tell his family that Shay will be his wife and they're going to have to just get in line. They're going to have to accept her. Sounds good. So Dad eventually approved of Alfonso and said if he's the man he says he is, then he has no issues. And child, if they like it, I love it. In the next scene, Otis in his colorful shirt meet up with Charlana. Okay, Otis, you in competition with Alfonso and his shirts? Boy, you look a fool. She actually came and she liked it. I was like, girl. So he presented her with flowers and sat her on this ledge and whatnot. So they're in this corner. And it's the first time that I've seen them actually kiss or show any affection all season. So he's finally saying what she's been wanting to hear, right? He apologized to her. He's saying he's hoping that she will really see how he feels about her. He does tell her that he's going to show her that he values her, and he's going to tell her and show her. So he tells her the woman that she is rare. Very, very rare. You so rare. Okay, honey, it's giving steakums. Okay, she's rare. Okay, not medium rare, not well done, but rare. We got it. So he got on his Fabio shirt, child, ready to pop the question. So he tells her he promises to do better. Then he gets down on one knee and asks her to marry him. Wah, wah, wah. The proposal lacked zhuzh, honey. Just like all his dates. I didn't like it, honey. I needed a little bit more. Like, what's the budget? Otis, you sat this woman on a ledge with a bright, colorful Skittles shirt on. She didn't even take her purse off. She stood up, hugged you. I think y'all might have kissed on the cheek. Child, I don't know what was happening, honey. She said yes, but it lacked something, honey. She's like, yeah, he wants to start working on a family right away. He's like, yeah, we've been trying. She was like, yeah, you want to work on a baby like right away. Girl, he's trying to trap you. And judging from the pictures all over Beyonce's internet, he succeeded. Moving forward. Oh, good luck to you two crazy kids. In the next scene, Alfonso and his A-cups and Shay, they're on their way on their date, and they're all dressed up with a particular place to go, honey. Got a car service and whatnot. Okay, nice start. I like the car service. With the exception of that satin shirt. I don't like that satin shirt. Child, they got in the car. He's showing major boobage this evening. I said, baby, this plunging neckline is really... Oh, child. Baby, that shirt Alfonso had on was giving Shein sexy. Do you hear me? I said, baby, not all that cleavage, honey. Y'all know Shein good for some good cleavage, child. So they arrived to the helicopter. And so once they got to the helicopter, I was like, Shay ain't gonna give up this lifestyle, y'all. She is not going to give up this lifestyle for no other heifer, so they might as well forget it. So they're on the helicopter ride. Alfonso is reflecting on all the ups and downs of the process, and Shay said the process helped her to realize some things, and she's happy that he finally made that call. I couldn't be on this helicopter. It would make my nerves so bad, child. Oh, honey, I have a thing about flying. And being in this little tiny plane, oh no, honey. But it is nice. It's beautiful. I've always wanted to do that, but I know my fear would overtake me, child. That's just a side note. So they make a landing back at the hangar, and he had rose petals set up, a red carpet, a place setting for a dinner for two. So then they sit down, and he thanks her for loving him the way that she loves him, and she means everything to him, and he feels like Vegas didn't work out for a reason. He was like, you know what? We wasn't ready. He was like, you want to try that again? And pulls out the ring, and she says yes. Sir, you also fell flat. That was a lazy proposal. Is it just me? Like, if you don't get out that seat and get down on one knee, all of this to just remain seated? Boy, anyway. So Shay said, she would be more than happy to be his wife. And baby, her mascara is running for the dramatic effect of it all. It's giving very much Erica Jane over on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Honey, if you know, you know. And I mean, she said yes, and so they're getting married. I want to say this. Their proposal styles was very indicative of their relationships and their dates. Fonzo is very flashy, so hence the helicopter and the sequins dress and the rose petals and the red carpet. Otis is dull as a box of rocks, hence that ledge, her not taking off her purse, that colorful shirt for a little bit of razzle dazzle. It gave absolutely nothing, and they both said yes. Well, honey, I wish both couples the best, but judging from the reunion previews, honey, y'all still on that bullshit. Okay, and I cannot wait to get to it. And lady, why are you coming telling Charlena all this stuff when she's pregnant? Child, I would have told him I'm gonna have to phone in, honey. Y'all call me on Skype. I'm not about to put my baby's life in jeopardy to be stressed out about Otis saying he want to rub her down listening to R&B 90s music. Absolutely not. Child, y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. They both said yes, and Shorty and that man she was with have parted ways. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.